Hey, welcome. So hopefully you watched the little short snippet where I talked about it taking strength to reach out for help. Okay, and primarily there are certain there are certain segments of the population, right? So we have urbanites, urban area, African Americans, blacks, whatever you want to call them, but we also have a population of males that are typically between the ages of teenager up to you know um, young adulthood, right? And there's this ethos, this complex that says I'm strong, I can handle my stuff, I don't need help, right? And and so if you watch the last week's video, for the empowerment, that I talked about being able to identify whether or not the trauma, the traumatic experience is impacting you in your present day. Remember, the trauma is typically something that happened before, years ago, most of the time, right? And when you have this ethos, if you grow up in this area, this in a culture, in an environment that says it's weak to reach out, then even though you might want help, you have to pretend like you don't, because it's seen as a weakness. And so that compelled me to say it takes strength to reach out. Okay, it takes strength to reach out for help. Now, if you went through the experience and you did the little exercise for last week's weekly empowerment, you say, okay, I know this now. You might be saying, I know I have experienced trauma, I know it's impacted me. All right, should I talk to someone? And again, that's what caused me to say it takes strength to reach out for help. So when you know that you've experienced something and it's impacting you, and then it percolates, it comes up, and it happens at will, right? It's random, and it's influencing you in such a way, right, that you cannot, or you don't feel safe around people, or people don't feel safe around you. But you also know that it's impacting your ability to really do what you want to do in life, and you're constantly on edge, right? So do you have the ability to navigate, to express, to explore that traumatic experience without blocking, numbing, dissociating, distracting? Can you talk about it without engaging in any of that behavior? If you can't, then you probably need to talk to someone. Remember, it takes strength, and I want to plant this seed because it's something that it's something that I grew up believing. It's something that people around me when I was growing up in the environment, and I still see it even now, right? There is a trend now. I think COVID has made talking about mental health a little more popular, right? And a little less taboo, but there's still this idea, this ethos permeating the culture, permeating society that says, I'm strong, I can handle my own thing. I don't need nobody telling me what to do. Besides, they don't know what it's like, right? And so I'm just here to say it takes strength to reach out. And for this empowerment, right? It's empowering. I'm here to empower you, right? But I'm empowering you to know that if you need assistance, it takes strength. Because the first thing is you're noticing and you're acknowledging is something has happened to me that is beyond my abilities, right? To navigate, to explore, to bring to a conclusion. So getting help in that space, you know, it's it's a beautiful thing, right? So let me, I like to make things really applicable and bring in natural stuff, right? So if you are not one who can change your oil, change your spark plugs, okay, you say, all right, I know, or maybe you can change your oil and your oil filter, but the spark plugs is where you hit your limit. And so you take it to a specialist, right? You take your vehicle to a specialist, and that specialist does what they need to do and gives you back the vehicle so that you don't mess anything up. That's what I want you to think about when in terms of mental health, right? There are some things that you can, I'm not going to take anything from you. There are some things that you can deal with and navigate on your own. But if you are blocking dealing with certain things and you're putting it off or you avoid talking about it altogether, that tells me that you do not have the capacity to deal with that on your own, right? You know you need to deal with it, but you don't have the capacity to deal with it on your own. So what do we typically do? We typically turn to substances, right? And I'm not just talking about illegal substances. We turn to alcohol. We turn to other things, right? We might even use working out as one of those coping skills, one of those distractions, right? And now we, because and being in the fitness world, something I'll talk about maybe a little bit later. I understand that, yes, exercise is medicine. It's really good. However, if you are not dealing with the stuff, right? If you just use and you go to the gym, that becomes a temporary relief and you haven't integrated. Okay. Some people are afraid to deal with it because they use the fear of that as momentum and energy to do other stuff. Okay. So it's, I want to empower you, is what I'm saying. But if we understand this, if we take it naturally and we say, okay, right, just using a vehicle, I need my tires changed. I don't have the capacity to do it on my own. I don't even have the equipment to do it on my own. So I need to schedule an appointment with this specialist and I need to give them some money so that they can do it, right? I may not like it at the when I do it, but I understand it's a necessity in order for me to keep my vehicle running appropriately and to keep me safe while I'm on the road because, bald tires, you know, you lose traction, it becomes difficult to stop, especially in inclement weather, right? As I record this video, it's raining outside. So if you were to have bald tires and you try to go riding, you know, it's you're prone to being in an accident. If you need your brakes checked, or wheels aligned, everything about the vehicle, and we do that, and we take care of our vehicles, and these things, we can get new ones. Okay, I know it's a little more expensive now to get a vehicle than it was maybe a few years ago, and maybe it's going to cost you more to finance it, but it's still a possibility. It's not outside the realm of possibility. Okay, but when you have a vehicle that works, you want to keep it running appropriately. We only have one body, one mind. We want to do, and I want to encourage you to do the things that are necessary to keep it working optimally, right? Fitness is a part of that. Eating right is a part of that. But dealing with the things that have caused the problems is also a part of that. All right. So, like, subscribe, hit the buttons wherever it is. This is your weekly dose of empowerment. I'm Dr. Shern signing off. Thank you for viewing the video.